skin.
Oh! One of the most frustrating things for a mechanic is fixing another mechanic's bad work.
Not only can a botched car repair be expensive,
But it can be downright dangerous. So we asked some real mechanics to come in and watch some of the worst repair jobs on the internet.
so that you can learn how to do things the right way. This is real mechanic stuff.
Wait.
So they,
So they replaced the steel tubing with silicone clear tubing.
Yeah.
Oh, there's air in the lines.
Oh,
They
yeah.
didn't bleed it.
He didn't even bleed it either.
This is a childlike mistake. Brake lines need to be firm in nature, so when you press on the brake pedal, the hydraulic pressure doesn't expand the line, which is why on the flexible lines, they are usually a hard material and or steel braided if they're not actual steel tubing.
So since that's really loose, I mean, at the end of the day, you don't got no fucking brakes. It's going all the way down.
There's one thing I know about brakes. You want them to work. This is the wrong way to do it. What is the right way to do it?
You could get some brake line.
Wait, so you're saying you should go buy car parts?
It's a strong suggestion.
Yeah.
It looks like maybe there was a damaged rotor and somebody tried to weld it.
Oh, that rotor cracked.
They didn't do spots, too.
I know, it's cracked twice. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that was a bad idea.
I wouldn't do it.
So for people that don't know, what is this part and what does it do and how does welding on it affect the way your car drives?
On the brake rotor, that's when your brake smashes right there in between that rotor, cools it down, stops it.
If you absolutely had to weld your brake rotor for whatever reason, we're not gonna ask, is this the right way to do it?
That's pretty dope. Honestly, it's pretty dope. I mean, he got down, he beveled it in. I'm pretty sure he's gonna like machine that.
Definitely gonna have to machine that afterwards.
Yeah, the tolerances on a brake pad and a rotor are like pretty small because you want them close to each other so they can stop the car quickly, right? So I think you might have some rubbing.
As the rotor is spinning, if you went to go press on the brake, you would get this woof, woof in the brake pedal, and it would probably cause like catastrophic wheel lockup.
On one wheel too. So that
Yeah.
means you're going down the road, one wheel locks up.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Wee wee, here comes the meat wagon.
Yeah, new guy's in the corner puking his guts out. Oh my God.
I think it might cause a pedal pulsation.
Potential pedal pulsation. And that's a problem. Next clip.
You can save a ton of money by learning basic car repairs, but please, for the love of all that is holy, don't crack open the engine until you know exactly what you're doing. Ask me how I know. Let's see what this amateur mechanic found in the oil pan of a used truck he bought 2 years ago.
From the chronicles of I'm too cheap to let a mechanic work on my car, I decided I was going to change my oil pump.
Change the oil
And
pump, oh, that's a
being
big job.
certified mechanic from YouTube, I thought I could handle that. Here's some of the fun stuff I found.
Ooh.
Looks like the pickup tube was clogged. This
Oh, is that a rag? Oh.
looks like a rag.
It is a fucking rag.
How did it?
How the f do you...
In the oil pan?
Sticking out of the engine.
What?
That's like when surgeons leave whole ass tools inside of people.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
So many questions.
Wrapped around the camshaft.
Raptor, oh my God.
And these have been in the engine? I don't know, because I sure as hell didn't do it.
Somebody forgot their dirty underwear right there. Heck, man.
This dude put 30,000 miles on this engine with rags in it.
How did this guy survive 30,000 miles before he found this stuff?
I believe that. I believe that. Honestly, I've seen some crazy
As long as the rags were suspended in oil and not sucked up by the oil pump pickup, although it was sucked so far up the oil pump pickup that it actually did like tear it apart.
Ripped it, yeah.
It's because mechanics would tend to clean up whatever from doing one thing and jumping to another. You'll
Okay.
forget in there.
What kind of damage would a rag do inside your oil pump and in your head like that?
It'll clog all kinds of stuff.
So what's the craziest object you found inside of an engine that's not supposed to be there?
Tools.
Tools?
Tools.
Okay.
I left tools.
No.
Sold tools, yeah.
One of the fun ones was in a EV battery pack on a Chevy Bolt.
Okay.
Opened up the high voltage battery pack and there was a spare bolt from the factory just like
Chilling.
yeah.
Way to
And
go.
there's, what could short or what could go wrong there? Lithium batteries, thermal runaway, that's not really a thing,
Yeah.
right?
Ooh, it's a thermal runaway. Next clip.
Oh,
wow.
oh, that's a lug nut.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. Is that an air hammer?
yeah.
Let an expert do it.
He's just going at it. I like
Causing
that.
more damage.
Where's the blowtorch?
Oh.
Oh, damn, I give him props. Look, that's dope. He actually made a hole.
Wow, he actually, yeah.
Yeah, the
That is
precision
straight
was
as an
sitting
arrow.
there. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Straight as an arrow. He could still use that stud if he wanted to. But he replaced it. Okay. All right.
Not bad, not bad.
This is a customer's fault. This mechanic is doing their best and a pretty good job. What are they doing to mend the mistake?
So what's really challenging about this particular job is that the wheel is still on, and so you have this confined space to work in. He was attempting to chisel off the outside lug nut around the lug stud, wasn't having a lot of luck, so he went ahead and drilled through the center. Maybe he was thinking that he was going to have to remove the whole lug stud, but in doing so, it looked like it kind of crumbled apart, and then he went ahead and replaced the lug stud after hammering the wheel off.
I've seen that a lot.
Have you had to deal with something like this before? Plenty of times.
I probably deal with it last week.
Oh.
It's common. It's common.
Especially when like lug nut locks come into play.
Or you lost it, or the dealer just
Key's gone.
it's broken inside. You got to deal with it. And all those are 3-piece locks. The little crown, then the ring that holds it, and then the actual bolt that's inside.
So what would happen if you needed to change the brakes and then you come across this?
Charge the customer.
How much extras are they looking for?
Easy, like 120 with a smile on my face, not theirs.
What kind of method would you have taken if you were in this exact situation?
In that situation, I would have saved my time. Blowtorch it off quick.
Okay.
Yeah, so what is the proper way to tighten a lug?
Rarely do people use torque wrenches, but you should. They do make things called torque sticks that look kind of like an extension, and it will at least get you in the ballpark of what's right as long as your shop air pressure is good. If you're at home and you don't have torque sticks or you don't have shop air, you should absolutely snug the wheel down and torque it down in a star pattern. So if I have 5 lug nuts, 3, 4, 5, we'd start at 1, doesn't matter which one, and then you would go across, and then across, and then across, and then across. And then I always like to kind of seal the deal with 1 circle all the way around just to make sure you did the job right.
And a pentagram!
One of the easiest ways to get a repair right is simply buying the correct part in the correct size. How hard could it be? You'd be surprised. Let's see the next video.
Oh no!
What the crap? It took 3 of us to pry it open because it essentially welded the hood to the battery.
Oh man!
The battery was too big in it.
Wrong battery.
Such like a wimpy, like...
Probably got a tall battery. And then he slammed the hood.
And then it forever shut it.
And it was like, oh, good job.
What would you say some of the most common mistakes people make when dealing with a battery?
The batteries on the side, top post, big ass battery, obviously.
Number 1 is switching the positive and the negative.
yeah. What happens if you do that?
So sometimes you can just pop fuses, and that's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, you actually damage the computer, and now you've got to buy a new computer.
And if all things fail and you need to fit that bigger battery, just remove the hood. Screw it. Let's see the next clip.
Cars aren't the only thing that you can botch in a repair. It is possible to botch yourself. Wait for it. Da, da, da.
Oh no! What happened? Oh, that's not that bad.
Busted a knuckle up.
That was his skin.
When they say blood, sweat, and tears went
Literally.
into that cart,
Literally.
that's what it is.
Yeah. Yuck, dude. Gross.
I
He saw it coming though.
Hell yeah, he saw it coming.
But you know you're there. You're like, okay, why not?
Yeah, I
Like,
gotta get this thing off. I
man.
gotta put all my power in.
I'm a man. I'll do it.
I'm a man.
That fucking metal's like, well, I'm metal. I got you. Let's do this.
What is the most common way you find yourself getting injured while you're working on a car?
Sharp edges on the motor, position on a tool where you're moving it, something falls, you think like you could catch it and you realize that it's heavier than what you could grab.
I feel like busting knuckles is the most common.
Even if you try your best, take my finger.
Oh man, half his nail is gone. Woo!
Maybe wear gloves.
Yeah, wear gloves. Mechanics gloves. There you go. I mean, it's still gonna hurt, but you won't leave skin.
Ah, God.
So just be careful.
Be very careful.
Do your best. Let's move on to the next clip. Don't let your busy summer stop you from eating well. Get fresh, never frozen meals delivered right to your front door with today's sponsor, Factor. The best part is Factor supports your nutritional goals no matter your preference. They have keto, vegan veggie, calorie smart, protein plus, and chef's choice. Today, I'll be eating turkey chili and zucchini. Sounds delicious. Factor cuts down on grocery trips and cooking, so there's more time for us to make videos for you. Delicious. Head over to factor75.com or click the link below and use code RMS50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. Thank you, Factor, for sponsoring today's video.
Who did your oil pan? I'm like, what you mean? What happened? This guy, the guy that did my oil pan, cut my transmission bell housing bolts right here. And as you can see right there is my transmission cooler line. And up there's 2 bolts missing. So this guy did a terrible job. And he also cut my cross member, as you can see right there, to make the job a lot easier. So that's like a $3,000 repair. And at this point, I think this car's done.
So this mechanic had one goal in mind, and nothing was going to stop him.
Yeah, I'm doing that oil pan.
How long did it take him to, like, with the Sawzall, could have just removed the cross member?
Dude, this is like beyond bad work. Like, this is like criminal.
That is criminal.
Yeah.
That's
Destruction of
that's pretty
property.
bad. That is. This cross member might not have been structural to the transmission engine, but it is structural to the car.
Yeah.
So if he got sideswiped or something like that, we definitely have potential cracking of the frame and more damage than what the car would have initially allowed.
And we're also missing bolts on the bell housing.
Yeah, so transmission could come off. That's not important.
So Sandro, how do you find a good mechanic?
Honestly, test them out.
Test 'em
Always
out?
test them out. Like, do something small. If he doesn't bullshit you, that's the guy. If he gives you a dream, that's not your guy.
If you're not sure if a mechanic has mangled your car or not, there's a simple solution.
Take it to a reputable mechanic and ask them to take a look at it.
They probably won't even charge you for a quick inspection. Sometimes as simply as looking under the hood or the undercarriage can often give them everything they need to know. Let's see why.
Someone did a flex section repair on here.
Oh
They did a phenomenal job welding.
yeah.
So good.
Right next to the
They
cat
used
too,
copper
and a
on
straight
top.
pipe. Okay, so we're looking at,
Here.
oh my goodness.
Because instead of
Oh my God.
taking out these bolts here and there, dropping this down to weld it like they should have, or maybe just get your welder up in there.
They just didn't want to remove
Let's
it
go.
to weld it.
They're lucky that didn't catch fire to them. You know what they were scared of? If you see right there, they're scared of those bolts
Yeah.
snapping off.
Those rusty
And,
bolts.
and not having that gasket either way, right? But those bolts were gonna snap off.
So what would happen if you just drove around without this being fixed?
Have an exhaust leak.
Have an exhaust leak.
All those fumes are gonna go straight up into the cabin. Everything that's supposed to go outside, not inside your truck.
What is the correct way to do this?
Replace that pipe, which is the most expensive. Or you could remove that flex pipe, weld it correctly, and then you could reinstall it. Although the rest of that exhaust did look pretty shoddy, like it's seen better days. He might need like all new exhaust.
We're all human. We all make mistakes. Even mechanics like Sandro's here. Let's see if this next mistake is a forgivable mistake.
Customer got a new wheel bearing installed in another shop.
That's it.
4-wheel drive bearing, a 2-wheel drive car. You wanna pull the road?
Whoa. Whoa.
Drove in like that? The wheel bearing wasn't even secure? How did the wheel not fall off?
That's wild.
Okay, so they put a 4-wheel drive wheel bearing in a 2-wheel drive car. Why is that a bad idea?
If we don't have the correct clearances inside of a wheel bearing, then we end up with a lot of heat. And that's what it looks like happened. It looked like we destroyed that wheel bearing.
Can you demonstrate for us how driving a wheel bearing like that would feel?
Honestly, they're lucky that didn't even fly off.
And as a mechanic, how would you prevent yourself from making this mistake?
Double check your parts. Make sure the parts are what belongs on that car.
Okay, we have one last clip to show you, but before we do that, let the people know who you are and where they can find you.
My name is Sandro, and you can find us at Miranda Shop. Bring what you got.
I'm Angelina Alcantar, and I teach automotive at Riverside City College.
Our final clip is a little trick that one mechanic learned to prevent money issues on the customer side from leading to a botched, half-assed, or unfinished repair.
Don't bother. She ain't buying.
What does that even mean?
The customer's cheap.
Yeah?
It's a cheap customer. So the next technician who's doing an inspection, oh my God, that's bad.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
This customer is a pain in my ass, and she will be for you. Don't even bother.
Wow.
Is splitting an air filter like that a good idea?
No, not really, but I mean, that means she didn't even want to buy an air filter.
So
That's wild. That's wild.
So what happens if like a mechanic's working on a car, they're halfway through, and then like they learn that like a customer can't pay for the repair?
You always have to get approval before you start a repair anyways. If they've approved work, you did it, and then they don't want to pay you, just don't give them their car back.
Yeah, I'll just keep your car, no big.
Do you know any stories of mechanics that have sabotaged a repair on purpose because the customer's being a dick?
Yeah. I don't do it because I don't want nobody to come back. I'm really blunt. Like, you don't got the money, late.
All right, guys, this is a new channel. We sincerely thank you guys for supporting it. The success so far has been really surprising and awesome. We're glad you guys like this. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so you don't miss anything. And so the algorithm, which is our king/queen, because it's a robot, will know that we're doing a good job and we'll continue to grow.
Thanks to all our experts for sharing their knowledge with us all. I'm Justin, this is Sandro.
Angelina, thank you so much. Also, if you want to tell us about a botched repair, or if you have any crazy short car video that you want us to react to, let us know in the comments below.
This has been Real Mechanic Stuff. Y'all have a good one.